Pluto was not just demoted because it is small, and it is not cold, dead, or boring. Almost everything most people think they know about Pluto is either incomplete, outdated, or completely wrong. Start with the demotion itself. In 2006, the International Astronomical Union voted to reclassify Pluto as a dwarf planet. The common explanation is that Pluto is too small, but size was not the deciding factor. The IAU defined a planet as a body that orbits the Sun, has sufficient mass for gravity to make it roughly spherical, and has cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. Pluto fails only the third criterion. Its orbit overlaps with the Kuiper Belt, a vast region of icy bodies beyond Neptune, and Pluto has not gravitationally dominated or cleared that zone. Earth, Jupiter, and the other planets have. Pluto has not. That is the actual reason. Orbital dynamics, not size. And here is something that genuinely surprises people. The vote was controversial and is still debated. Only about 424 of the roughly 10,000 IAU members voted, mostly those present at the final day of a conference in Prague. Many planetary scientists who were not present, and some who were, have argued the definition is flawed. Alan Stern, the principal investigator of NASA's New Horizons mission that flew past Pluto in 2015, has consistently argued that the IAU definition does not work for planets outside our solar system and that Pluto meets a geophysical definition of a planet based on its internal activity and complexity. Now to what Pluto actually is. New Horizons changed everything. Before July 14, 2015, Pluto was a blurry pixel in the best telescopes. New Horizons arrived at 14 kilometers per second and passed within about 12,500 kilometers of the surface, transmitting the highest resolution images ever taken of the Pluto system. What those images revealed was not a frozen, dead rock. Pluto has a heart. The most recognizable feature is Tombaugh Regio, nicknamed the Heart, a massive nitrogen ice plain roughly 1,600 kilometers across, shaped like a heart and dominated by a western region called Sputnik Planitia. This is a vast basin of slowly convecting nitrogen ice cells. The ice is actively turning over from below, driven by internal heat. This is geological activity on a world 5.9 billion kilometers from the Sun. Nobody predicted it. Pluto has mountains. The Norgay Montes and Hillary Montes are ranges of water ice mountains reaching up to 3,500 meters above the surrounding plains. Comparable to the Rockies, water ice at Pluto's temperatures is rigid enough to act like rock, forming stable mountain structures. These mountains are relatively young in geological terms, suggesting ongoing or recent geological activity. Pluto has a thin but real nitrogen atmosphere. At its closest approach to the Sun in its 248-year orbit, the surface warms slightly. Nitrogen and methane ice sublimate into gas, and a tenuous atmospheric layer forms reaching hundreds of kilometers above the surface. As Pluto moves farther from the Sun, the atmosphere can partially freeze back to the surface. NASA scientists observed haze layers in the atmosphere extending up to 200 kilometers high, with complex layered structure. Pluto also has 5 moons. Charon is the largest and most extraordinary. At roughly half Pluto's diameter, it is so comparably sized that both Pluto and Charon orbit a shared center of gravity called a barycenter that lies outside Pluto itself. This makes them technically a double dwarf planet system. Charon has its own geology, including a massive canyon system named Argo Chasma that stretches about 1,600 kilometers. And perhaps most surprisingly, models of Pluto's interior suggest there may be a liquid water ocean beneath the nitrogen and water ice surface, kept liquid by radiogenic heating from rocky material in the core. No mission has confirmed this directly, but the theoretical case is strong enough that Pluto is now included in discussions of potentially ocean-bearing worlds in the outer solar system. Pluto is not a footnote. It is a complex, geologically active world at the edge of the solar system that most people have never been correctly introduced to. Follow for more facts that replace myths with real planetary science. And tell me, now that you know what Pluto is actually like, do you think it deserves to be called a planet again?